Hello, hello, my style icons. Welcome back to Life in Style with Brianna Cantore. That is me, and this is your mental vacation. The best destination to be besides maybe Costa Rica. I've never been to Costa Rica, but I would love to do a wellness retreat there. It looks absolutely beautiful, very peaceful, and I know there are a lot of holistic and even like plant-based resorts and just lots of wellness retreats in Costa Rica. Would love to go and do like a yoga and Pilates retreat or just something that's very calming to the nervous system, and I just feel like I need a reset, like a 5-day reset, and I would love to do that in Costa Rica. So if you've ever been, let me know, give me some recommendations. I need to get there. I'm really feeling called to Costa Rica. Anyway, today we have a great episode. I'm going to be talking about low tox living. So, the things I do in my home that help me live with less toxins because chemicals and microplastics and things like formaldehyde, they're everywhere and in so many products. And the issue is our bodies are becoming overburdened with all of these toxins. We were never meant or designed as humans to live with all of these toxins and all of these chemicals. So, I'm going to be talking about the things that I do in my house to live with less toxins. And honestly, I did not always live this way. When I first started living on my own, I first moved out at 18 years old. I was just buying the household name brands that I grew up with. And then I started to learn about the dangers of what's actually in these products, and also, I started having health issues and reactions and rashes and my whole gut thing. So that's what really propelled me into this way of living. But I made the changes slowly. So I'm going to be listing a lot of things. Don't get overwhelmed. I literally just wrote bullet points of everything that I could identify that I do that helps me live with less toxins, and I'll also create a list and I'll publish it on Substack. So that way you can just have an easily accessible list and make changes one by one if you are needing to do so. And if there's anything that I'm not doing that you think I should know about, please write me because I love to learn and I want to continue creating an environment that is as safe and healthy as possible for me in Brooklyn and anyone else who may end up in my home. So, with that being said, let's get started. And like I said, I'm just going to go down my list of things. I have created an edit. So, any products that I speak about will be in the edit. I'll link that in the show notes. And then again, I'll post a Substack of this list. Number 1, I use non-toxic cleaning products. I use Branch Basics. I love them. I've heard the founders speak on several podcasts. They're very knowledgeable and passionate about non-toxic cleaning products because they've had their own health issues, and they make it really easy. I buy the Branch Basics concentrate, and basically that concentrate you use to fill spray bottles of your cleaning products, and each category of cleaning product gets a different ratio of that concentrate. So, for example, the streak free spray that you use on your mirrors only needs a little bit of concentrate, and then the rest is water, and that's it. And that's what I clean my mirrors with. Well, as you know from my selfies, I need to get better at cleaning them more often, but when I do clean my mirrors, that's what I use. And then, for example, the multi-use cleaner will receive a little bit more concentrate than that, as well as water. And it's so simple. And you can also use it for your laundry. I use it for my laundry, and I have a large glass container that I put the concentrate in, as well as water. And it's very human safe. There are only a few ingredients in it, which compared to other detergents and cleaning products, That's a miracle, really. Like, the list of ingredients in Branch Basics is so short, and then you look at something. I don't wanna name any name brands, I don't wanna get in trouble, but at your average store, and the ingredient list is like 50 ingredients, it's crazy, and they're all chemicals. So I love that about them, and I feel really comfortable using it in my home for me and for my dog. That's another thing you have to remember is that these cleaning products that are toxic not only affect us, but they affect our dogs, which they're so much, well, my dog is so much smaller than me. So her system is smaller. And so it's affecting her more if I use the toxic cleaning products. So we're a Branch Basics household. Another thing I use to clean is baking soda. Baking soda can be used so many different ways to clean, and it's so cheap and accessible to purchase. I use it on my carpet. So, on days where I'm going to vacuum my carpet, about 30 minutes or an hour before I'm going to vacuum it, I just pour baking soda all over, sprinkle it over the carpet, let it sit, and then vacuum it up with the rest of the junk that's laying in the carpet. This helps with odor removal of the carpet. I also put it in my fridge. A lot of people do that. I rinse my sink with it or scrub my sink with it, and also my showers. My showers are like the tub showers. I have 2 of them, and again, I'll scrub the tub portion and the tiles with baking soda. So great cleaning hack, something that's been around forever, right? Not harmful to us and is effective at cleaning. Oh, I also clean my fruits and vegetables with baking soda. I sprinkle some on, let it sit on the fruits and vegetables and then wash it off. I heard that if you use baking soda with vinegar to rinse the fruits and vegetables, they kind of just neutralize and cancel each other out. So use one or the other. That's just what I heard. You can fact check me. Okay, the next bullet point I wrote is do not use synthetic air fresheners, sprays, the plugins, please. If you take anything away from this episode, it's to not use those synthetic air fresheners, fragrances, and plugins throughout your house. They are so harmful to your health, to your lungs. They can contain phthalates, volatile organic compounds, and they typically have, again, so many ingredients. They can even contain formaldehyde sometimes. They are very dangerous. Do not use them. It's better to have, honestly, an unscented house than a scented house with those harmful plugins and sprays. But if you do want a nice scent going throughout your house, sometimes what I'll do is, especially before someone comes over, I'll simmer some citrus peels, like some lemon peels, cinnamon sticks, and herbs. They just create a really nice aroma throughout my living space, and that's a natural way to scent the home. Another thing I do sometimes is when I'm cleaning the floor, I'll add in some organic essential oils into the floor concentrate, and it will give it a nice little scent. And then, of course, I love candles, but I don't use the scented candles anymore because of what it can do to my lungs, Brooklyn's lungs. So I stay away from scented candles and I only use natural beeswax unscented candles. The beeswax actually cleans the air instead of adding harmful chemicals into the air like a lot of other candles. So from my research, those are the only ones I trust are beeswax candles. Make sure they're 100% natural and unscented, and those are safe to burn in your house. If you have air purifiers, it's not going to aggravate them. Maybe just when you blow them out, because the air purifiers, depending on how sensitive they are, will pick up on the smoke. And then that leads me to air purifiers. So I use air purifiers throughout my condo. I have a smaller living space, so I probably have more air purification going on than needed, but I think it's so necessary. I actually listened to a podcast where the founder of Jasper Air Purifiers was on. Believe it was formerly the Skinny Confidential, currently the Bostics, where he spoke about the importance of purifying your air in your living space. And the way he explained it made so much sense. He said, if you're not purifying your air at home, that's like a fish living in a fishbowl of dirty water. So that makes a lot of sense, right? So air purifiers are very important in the home. They especially are important if you have animals in your house like me, but nevertheless important for anyone. I'm such a big advocate for this. I'm always posting my air purifiers, but I really just want everyone to be living with them. Now, they can be an investment. They can be expensive. There are more affordable ones that you can find, but you do wanna make sure at whatever rate you're investing that they actually work, because then what's the point? So, I have pretty expensive air purifiers, but I trust them, I know they work, I've seen them work. So, downstairs, I have a Miele. That one was about in the $400-ish range. I got it on Amazon, and it's great because it has an app and it tells me so many different details about what's in the air currently, different levels of volatile organic compounds and humidity, which is a great thing to monitor, especially here in South Florida. And actually, when the fire occurred next door and I wasn't here, I was able to see it through my air purifier. I was able to see all the levels spike. So that was pretty crazy and great information to have. And then I was able to watch as, you know, the Serve Pro people came in and put all the dehumidifiers and stuff like that. And I was able to watch the levels go back down because I was not in town when this occurred. So I have the Miele downstairs, and then upstairs I have the Jasper, and that's like a heavy duty one. It was quite an investment, about $1,000. But hearing the founder speak and how knowledgeable he is on air and air purification, he, I believe, used to do like rescue situations where there is a major fire in the home or fire in the area where the home is, and he would go in with these very large industrial machinery to clean the air, and then wanted to create the same effect but in a smaller unit that we could just have in our homes all the time. So I'm really happy with that investment. And actually, I have a very tiny guest bedroom. So it's a two-bedroom condo. The guest bedroom is extremely small. And the Jasper is in my room, but I still wanted to add a little bit of support, air support in the guest room as well, just because, we close doors at night and stuff like that. So for when my sister's there, my mom, so I got a mini air purifier from the Canopy brand, and it's really cute, really tiny, so great for small spaces. So I put that air purifier in there. So I have 3 air purifiers in my tiny condo, but I am feeling safe knowing that the air is constantly being cleaned in my space. And then about once a day when I'm cleaning or if the weather isn't too hot outside, I'll open the windows, even if it's just for a few minutes, to get some fresh air inside. This is very important. Even if the weather isn't cooperating, if it's too hot or even too cold, it's important to get fresh air into your home. So I definitely recommend opening windows once a day for a few minutes, even. Now for laundry, I also use Branch Basics, like I was saying before, that same concentrate that goes into the cleaners, I create the laundry detergent with. I believe they also have a laundry powder, and I also have their oxygen boost to help with my white stuff. Whatever you do, do not use the yucky, chemically scented laundry detergent and laundry detergent pods. You shouldn't even be using the pods with the plastic on them anymore anyways, because we already live with so many microplastics, so we don't want to add more to this stuff we're using. But please get away from the perfume-filled laundry detergent. When you see the word perfume or fragrance on an ingredient list, that is actually a term for what could be many chemicals making up that perfume. So you don't even know what they're using to scent these things like laundry detergent and body oils and perfumes and stuff like that, because legally they can just list perfume or fragrance. And I'm not exactly educated on the exact details of that law, but I know that they can hide a lot of different ingredients under that term. So really suggest, making the switch to Branch Basics if you can, or a company like them, because these are things you're using every day. You're using cleaning products probably every day. You are wearing your own clothing every day. So, that right there is a ton of chemical exposure if you're using products that are containing these harmful chemicals. So, please try, if you can, to get away from them. And then laundry, again, is a place if you do want a little bit of scent where you can add in some organic essential oils to create a perfume-like effect on the clothing. I also use wool dryer balls. Like, guys, there's just like so many things you have to think of, right? But I read that it's best to use wool dryer balls, so I got some from Amazon. And for cleaning my dishes, I also use the Branch Basics dishwasher microplastic free tablets. So they're not wrapped in plastic. They are just, it kind of feels like a ball or a tablet of baking soda. Like that's what it looks like. And it's white and grainy. And you just put them in where you would put a dishwasher pod. Again, they're microplastic free, they're completely safe, and again, if you look at the ingredients, only a few ingredients, nothing harmful in there, and does a great job with cleaning my dishes. This sounds like an ad for Branch Basics, but I swear I'm not currently working with them. I would love to someday because I'm naturally a customer of theirs and I'm always purchasing their products, but they're just one of the first people to really grab my attention in the non-toxic cleaning space, because before their products, I was using products that I thought were clean, were labeled clean, but then I learned that they weren't as clean as they were marketing themselves to be, which is such a shame. I hate when greenwashing occurs in marketing because it really fools us consumers who may not know better. And then we're wasting our money paying more for a product that we think is healthy and safe. And turns out they're still cutting the product with something harmful or irritating. Okay, so for storing food, I only use glass containers. I don't use any plastic. I used to. I phased them out, recycled them. So if you are still using plastic to store your food, use this as a sign. Put it on the list to phase them out, put them in the recycling, and invest in some glass food containers. For garbage bags, I use unscented garbage bags. Again, this is a place where you could be getting some harmful chemicals from whatever they scent the garbage bags with, which is so stupid, right? So, here's another place where I'll use an unscented garbage bag and then I'll throw in some organic essential oils into the garbage bag when I put a fresh bag in. And that is a way better way to eliminate some of the odor that may be coming from the garbage. I use non-toxic cookware. The brand I have is Our Place. I think I have some from Caraway as well. I'll include obviously the pots and pans that I have. They are non-toxic, ceramic, I believe, and really good quality. I've never had an issue with them. It was an investment, but honestly, all quality pots and pans are. And I cook so much. I prepare so much of my own food as well as Brooklyn's. So the investment is worth it to me because why would you cook something healthy in a pan that is coated in chemicals that I'm then going to ingest? That defeats the purpose, right? And if you currently have, by the way, any pans that are like scratched in really bad condition, make sure you get rid of those because cooking on a scratch surface like that can be really dangerous. You'll end up ingesting whatever that pan is made out of. I don't use my microwave to cook anything, but I know that microwaving food in plastic is pretty harmful. So if you do use your microwave, try to avoid that. I'm a stovetop and oven cooker. I, for some reason, don't trust the microwave. I don't personally believe food should be cooked in it. Maybe it's the Italian in me, I'm not sure, but I'm not a microwave person. But if you are, no judgment, just don't put plastic in the microwave. Silverware, I learned, is another place where some silverware has lead in it. Like, who would fucking think, right? Like, you think a fork is just a fork, but I learned that you need to be careful where you purchase your silverware from. I actually just got some new silverware from this company called Jazz Up Co. And it is free of lead. It's made of stainless steel, I think 18 over 10. Look for that. Stainless steel. It's dishwasher safe, completely non toxic. You can also use 18 over 0 and titanium. I believe titanium silverware is safe. And then things like bamboo or wood for the cooking tools. I think mine are wood, but they may be bamboo. They came with the pots and pans that I got from our place, so I know that they're safe. But if you have any scratched silverware, utensils, and maybe the coating is wearing off, whatever it is, you may want to double check them, you may want to replace them. And again, Jazz Up Co., they seem to be good. Everything's labeled as non toxic and stainless steel, all good materials. So that's great. For my drinking cups, besides if I purchase my coffee out at Starbucks, I use glass drinking cups. I know that when I get my coffee out and it comes in a paper or plastic glass, that is not good. That's probably the one part of my day that I really need to work on, but I love my ladies at Starbucks. They're so sweet and I love a Starbucks coffee. Again, this is not an ad, but hopefully maybe someday it will be. Would love to work with Starbucks because I'm literally there every day. I love my girls. I get a coffee from there once a day. It's my treat. I don't drink alcohol. Starbucks is my vice, but I know that I should bring a reusable cup really when I go. I don't. So see, we all have areas we need to improve on. Not even myself. I'm nowhere near perfect. And all of this progress I've made in my lifestyle has been a very long time that I've made all these changes over. So, anyway, again, drinking cups are glass. My plates are ceramic. This is another area where you need to look at what your plates are made of because they can be coated in harmful chemicals and treatments, stuff like that. I don't buy the paper plates that we used to have as kids because a lot of them are coated in plastic or dyes, to like make those little designs on them. So if I do buy a disposable plate or disposable utensils, I make sure they're an untreated bamboo. Even the bamboo, you need to make sure that they're not adding any dyes or coatings to them that are making the natural material just as harmful as the plastic, right? So that's what I look for if I do get a disposable plate. But honestly, I don't buy disposable plates and stuff much because it's not like I have kids yet or anything like that. So I really just use my ceramic plates. And then for furniture, my area rug is wool. Wool is a great material, natural material to look for in an area rug. It can be a little bit more on the expensive side, but for something more budget friendly, you can also go with a jute area rug. Just make sure whatever you go with, wool, jute, that it's 100% natural. It's not treated with anything crazy. This can be hard to figure out, so definitely when you're looking, look for reputable companies and maybe even companies that specialize in non-toxic rugs and stuff like that. But again, if you're just purchasing one that is labeled 100% wool, 100% jute, then that's a great start, right? Better than having a polyester rug. Now my couch, which I recently just got because they had to replace my couch during the flood that occurred from the fire next door. I would have loved to have gotten it in 100% leather, but it was extremely expensive and I'm just not there yet. And this is not my forever home. I wish to have a beautiful home someday. I will have a beautiful home someday. But right now I have a beautiful condo, which I'm also very thankful for. And so the investment just also didn't make sense. But I did pay a little bit extra for the velvet that I have that is about 70% cotton and then 30% polyester. So I thought that was at least better than getting 100% polyester velvet. A step in the right direction. And then my throw blankets, because I love a blanket. I'm like, how do you sit on the couch and not have a blanket on? Even in South Florida, I cannot be sitting on my couch without a throw blanket. And they're cotton. I make sure they're 100% cotton. My bathroom towels and my bed linens, 100% organic cotton. I found some great towels on Amazon, organic cotton. And again, everything on my bed, 100% organic cotton. And that's hard because there's so much polyester in the sheets. And sometimes they'll label it as cotton, but then something like the fill is polyester, or they'll say these are cotton sheets, but then you look at the material breakdown and there's still polyester in them. So I'm like, how are they getting away with this? So you need to be really careful when purchasing sheets and stuff like that and really read the content label. Don't just look at the outside packaging because especially in places like I noticed in Marshalls, I would go to buy sheets and it would say cotton sheets, but then I look at the tag and the breakdown and they're not 100% cotton. So, where did I last buy sheets and stuff? Maybe Quince, or oh, there's another company, Under the Canopy, I believe it's called. Regardless, I'm gonna link everything, but I found 100% organic cotton sheets and all the things, and I forget what my pillows are made of, maybe wool? I think that sounds right, but again, pillows are made of a natural material, I believe it's wool, and that's another area where they'll, be polyester, have a polyester fill. I didn't want anything synthetic for my bed because when you sleep, that's when your body heals. And so it's really important to be surrounded in healthy materials when you're sleeping and even wearing cotton or silk, pajamas. I love cotton though. Cotton's my favorite material for sleeping. And the only thing I'll have to replace is my mattress because I don't think it's anything eco or clean. It's probably a synthetic mattress. I got it so long ago, maybe When I moved here, I got it, so almost 6 years. I think you're supposed to I think you're supposed to replace mattresses 7 to 10 years. I have to check that though. So I'm probably due for a new mattress soon, and when I am, I'll do research there. Actually, I'll start doing research now, and maybe I'll add a clean mattress option to the edit in case you're in the need of a new mattress. Um, but see, like, we all have things that we still need to replace, and when we figure them out, I'm not saying it's just like get rid of them right away. No, it's money. You don't want to be wasteful because that's bad also. But when it's time to replace those things, then you go for the better option if you can. Okay, another area you may not be thinking of, I use toxin free toilet paper. So a toilet paper that is free of dyes, bleach, and formaldehyde. I think it's made of bamboo, the toilet paper I use. So I don't care if it's like not the softest or the most designed, but I believe the toilet paper is fine that I have. Like I don't notice it being not soft. But this is really important because again, like what is formaldehyde first of all doing in toilet paper? Also bleach. And especially for us women, I mean, that area where we have to clean ourselves is so exposed. And it's also the most absorbent part of our bodies. So you don't want to be wiping it multiple times a day with bleach, formaldehyde, harmful chemicals. So please look into that and start purchasing better, cleaner toilet paper. I'll include the one I buy, probably a few different brands that I buy in the edit. My God, another area I learned about us exposing ourselves to so many microplastics is in our toothbrushes. So I switched to a horse bristle and bamboo toothbrush, which makes sense, right? If the base of the toothbrush, even, the electric ones, is made of plastic, then and you're having that in your mouth a few times a day, you're just ingesting plastic. So definitely think about replacing your toothbrush with a bamboo toothbrush. And then I use non toxic, fluoride free toothpaste. I also look for SLS free. SLS in toothpaste could actually be causing some breakouts around your mouth. I don't know if you ever experienced like breakouts on your chin or above your lip, but if you do, it might be from your toothpaste if it has SLS in it. So definitely check that out. And then also, I stopped using fluoride in my toothpaste like very young. I want to say 18 or 19. Somebody told me that it suppresses the pineal gland, which is responsible for like a lot of major things in your brain and creativity and stuff like that. And as soon as I heard that, it was just one of those things that always stuck with me. So I stopped using fluoride in my toothpaste, and I have great teeth. So don't be fooled. You don't need fluoride in your toothpaste. So I'll link my toothpaste that I use. It's both fluoride and SLS free, non-toxic. In my showers, I've spoken about this before. I use shower filters. I have a Jolie shower filter in my shower, and then I want to say it's Canopy in my other shower, and that's because the Canopy one has a, what's it called? Not a rope, but like you can take the shower head off the holder and like wash your body. So I use that one to wash Brooklyn. Um, why can't I think of it? It's not a shower head with a rope, but with like a, I don't know, you know what I mean. One is like the shower head just stays up there, and the other one you can hold. Whew, sometimes I'm like, wow, I really need to work on expanding my vocabulary. Anyway, shower filters, again, a must. That water just sitting in those pipes, and it's so like it has so many chemicals in it no matter where you live. So it's really important to be filtering that water. I need to do some work because I also need to add some filters to my sinks. So like my kitchen sink, my bathroom sink, so that way the water I wash my hands with is also filtered. And I noticed like I just have the driest hands, and part of that may be genetic, but cuz my mom has dry hands, but it also like maybe it will get better if I start filtering those sinks. So that's on my to-do list. I know they're not the prettiest to like have on your exposed sinks, but it's for our health. And eventually, when I have my dream home, I want to build in a nice heavy duty filtration system, maybe like reverse osmosis. I know a lot of people have that. So if you have the water filtration built into your home, you are so lucky. That's amazing. That's what I aspire to have someday. But right now, in my condo, I just add the filters onto the shower heads and eventually I'll put them on my sinks. Now, this is like not really about toxins, more about nervous system health, but for some reason I'm so sensitive to synthetic light, like light in my home and having the lights on. So I like to live with the sun and wake up very early. And then as the sun starts going down, that's when I wind down. And as my home gets darker, I'll either put on my red lights for red light therapy or some of the beeswax candles because I'm so sensitive to synthetic lighting. Let me know if you struggle with this too. I know Lauren Bostic, I don't really think she puts lights on in her home as well. And that's the only other person that I know of that is like me. But I find that it's very triggering to my nervous system to have bright lights on, especially at night. I think because like my clock, my biology, my clock, it's not natural to for it to be so light when it's dark outside. I don't know. I struggle with that, so I don't put synthetic lighting on really. And then the last note I have here is that I have air cleaning plants in my home. Specifically, I have a lot of aloe and spider plants. But if you have dogs like me, just be careful about where you put these plants because I believe both of those plants are actually toxic for dogs. So you don't want them getting into those plants, but you do want to have them in your home because they help clean the air, so they're very important. I just feel better when I have plants in the home. I've become such a plant mom, and I have a lot of plants on my patio too. And I used to be a plant serial killer, and I've gotten just as no, this is actually really weird. So, as I've gotten better with taking care of my own health, I've gotten better and amazing at taking care of plants. So that's pretty symbolic, right? We're growing here. I'm making progress, you guys. So, yeah, an aloe is a miracle plant. So, I recommend everyone get an aloe plant. Just keep it out of reach from your pup. And that's it. So, I know that's it. I know that was a lot. Just take it with like a grain of salt. And I hope that it sparks some things in your brain of, when you run out of your cleaning product, maybe you're gonna purchase the Branch Basics or something, a better product, right, to clean your house with. Um, but I just felt it was important to share because not only do I want to be living in a healthy and safe environment, but I want you to be as well. I want us all to hold hands on this and clean up the environments of our home. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll see rates of, harmful, terrible diseases come down because they got to come down because there's too many people I know that are healing from horrible things. And I always say healing and not sick because words manifest, right? So, again, I'll link any products I mentioned in the show notes, and I will also create a Substack with this exact list, just bullet points, no fluff, no other words, just that you can follow and check things off as you replace them. I think that will be really helpful. And again, guys, one by one, make the switches one by one. Don't overwhelm yourself with this. Don't go broke doing this, switching over your home. Just take it day by day and product by product, okay? So with that being said, my outfit of the day, my top is by Boobish. I love it. It's so drama. I think that's how you pronounce the brand. And my skirt, we all need like just simple silky or, rayon skirts, right? Because they're just such a closet staple. This one I got from Revolve. I think the brand is Heart and Loom, something like that. If I can't find the exact one, because it's quite had it for a while, I'll link a similar version. And I want to close every episode with a positive affirmation. And I got fun with this affirmation, you guys. Are gonna be rich, okay? You ready? So our affirmation today is my bank balance is going to explode with more money than I can ever imagine. So I'll say it again and I'll say it slowly so we can all say it together and be bazillionaires. My bank balance is going to explode with more money than I could ever imagine. And with that being said, today's episode is in support of Feed the Children organization, a leading anti hunger worldwide nonprofit that I am a donor of. Please go check them out and help them do their amazing work that they do for the children on this earth. Thank you and have a great day. Be healthy, and I'll see you next time.